Carr sends it around. Marner waiting. Connor McDavid scores! Connor McDavid for Canada!
Hey everyone, welcome back to Unathletic Opinions, where four guys that suck at sports tell you their sports opinions. My name's Dante,
I'm Chris.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Mateo.
and we got a special guest today. We got Dylan over here that's sharing a mic with me. And we got a fun little episode today talking about the Four Nations that wrapped up last week. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Toronto Blue Jays and what's going on with them and Vladdy, Bo Bichette, all kinds of that stuff. And that's about it today. We're not going to have too long of an episode because we've had some pretty long episodes lately. And, one of our members, Ryan, has to go to bed early because, it's like 9 p.m. and he's got to go to bed.
Well, it's 10 and Chris said he also has to go to bed. So fuck you, Dante.
I'm on board with you guys there. I'm the oldest,
Yeah, well, you're
which way past my bedtime.
yeah, well, anyway, so we're not gonna have too long of an episode today, but let's hop right into it. Let's talk about the Four Nations. We'll kind of go through it because last time we recorded, we did kind of our breakdown of who we thought was going to be the captain and assistant and who we thought was going to win. And so me and who was it? Was it Mateo that was wrong about or no, Chris that was wrong. We said US was going to win the final, right?
I said
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
said Canada and Sweden were
I
gonna
said
face
Canada
it.
would beat US.
Yeah, Ryan's the only one that got
Yeah.
it spot on.
Mm.
Before we begin, I
Yeah.
think Mateo and Dante, you guys owe my good friend
Oh,
Jordan
yeah.
Binnington a public apology.
That is correct. That is
Now,
correct.
now, I will say that I was not fully
Yeah, I think-
confident in Canada's goaltending on the
I think
last
you owe
episode.
him one too. I think I'm the only one here who
But-
doesn't owe him an apology.
But throughout the week when we were all texting, I was like, hey, Jordan Binnington looks good. And Mateo and Dante were still shitting on him. So I think they are the ones who deserve the public apology. So go ahead.
That's fair. That's fair. No, Mateo and I will. So basically, for context for the viewers, the four of us watched the game together. Dylan was not there, but me, Mateo, Ryan, and Chris watched the game together on Mateo's 5 pixel TV from 1920. But it got the job done. And earlier in the week, after Canada played the US, and they were picking their goalie for Finland, they picked Jordan Binnington. Ryan basically sent, or one of us sent to the chat, I think it was Mateo that sent to the chat that like, oh, this is so stupid. Why are they playing Binnington? And Ryan said like, I think he hasn't lost the net. Like I think he's done his job and whatever. And Mateo and I basically shat on that and said that Binnington sucks ass and he should not be in net. And then after the Finland game, we shat on him even more.
Yeah, he did not play well against Finland, but
He didn't.
No,
And
he played well just the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, and we just kept
Yeah.
shitting on him.
Yeah.
And Ryan did say that he does believe that after that game he didn't play well enough to keep the net, but he did say because it's the finals, he thinks that they're gonna keep him in. And they did. And he honestly won us that game, let's be real. In overtime, he won us that game.
Yeah.
he won the game and Austin Matthews lost the game for the US.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's break down. We'll talk about the finals in a second because we got to talk about the earlier games first. But we'll break down the finals in a sec. But basically, first day was Canada Sweden. That was a really good game. It came a little closer than I thought it was going to be, but good thing there's a man named Mitch Marner
Well, it was all from
um,
that great drop pass by Sidney Crosby that went like 4 lines without getting touched by anyone to Mitch Marner. It's like we can
But yeah,
be honest.
in that game, Canada came out looking like they were like gods. That power play struck in what, like 10 seconds with that McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby play, and you guys can go glaze Crosby's play. I get it. Dylan already mentioned it before we started the podcast. He's just glazing the shit out of it. Like,
He's a
He's
legend. There's not
unbelievable.
much else to say.
yeah.
He's the glue of the team. That's it.
okay,
He's-
okay,
he's
okay,
the
okay,
glue.
okay, okay.
Dante,
is
he's what you
yeah.
wish for the rest of your life the Toronto Maple Leafs have a third of.
Well, we have Austin Matthews, so we already have all of it.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Clutch 0-7 in games that matter.
Well, anyways, well, that game, there's not too much to talk about other than the fact that yes, Crosby played phenomenal that game. He was our first star. And I think he had what was it, 3 assists?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had three
Yeah.
assists that game. He played a great game. Marner honestly didn't play exceptional. He just got that play in overtime that won them the game. But other than that, he didn't really play like out of his mind. Marner or McDavid looked really good that game.
Mark
But
Stone
yeah,
shockingly scored a goal, which is not very.
who?
It's very Mark Stone
Oh
scored a
yeah,
goal.
Mark Stone looks like a snail.
He
Yeah.
didn't even play well though. The puck was just left on the
No,
bottom of the
bro
circle.
looked like he was skating backwards the whole game.
Walked backwards with one leg.
But yeah, so Canada came out on top, and honestly, after I saw that, I was a little scared because it did go to overtime, but like I still was like kind of happy with like what they looked like in the first period. It was just they kind of fell apart. I'm like, but if they play like they did in the first period the whole tournament, like they win this tournament easily, and that didn't come to be, but we'll talk about that. So then the US played Finland the next day.
And
Um,
that game wasn't even close.
yeah,
Yeah.
like 6
Well,
1. They
it
just
kind of was close
it
for the
was. It
first
was
two
for a
periods. It
while.
was
Yeah.
like 2-1 or something like that. And then the US just turned it on and just curb stomped the shit out of Finland.
Yeah.
Chris, you remember I
Honestly,
said
no
US
one
were
really
frauds? I
you
said they're
did, you did.
frauds, and
And to be
then
fair,
look at Sharks.
no one really expected Finland though to do much damage in this tournament, if I'm being honest. I don't think any of us did. But that's really much about to say. Like, there wasn't really
Yeah.
too much on Finland to really like
Not
go
on
on.
Finland, that's for
Well,
sure.
Not
it's
on
just
Finland.
because they didn't play Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
No.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, well, I don't even think that mattered. They got curb stomped by the US. I think they lost to Sweden. I don't know the score of that game, but you know how it goes.
No, they
They
beat
beat
Sweden, I'm
Sweden,
pretty
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah,
Every
they
Mikhail
did.
team won a game.
Granlund with
Yeah.
Oh
an
yeah,
OT
that's
But
goal.
right.
in that
Or no,
US
not
game,
OT.
in that US game though, like I gotta say, that was after we had that conversation about the Hughes brothers or the Kachuk brothers. That game, I was like, holy shit, the Kachuk brothers, like, what the fuck? They're actually disgusting.
And now they're
Uh,
both probably done
I,
for the year.
yeah, I know.
They're
I'm
better
still
than the
taking the
Hughes
uses,
too,
but
right? No,
no,
no.
I'm
No,
still
they're
Oh
taking
not.
the
yeah,
uses.
No,
yeah,
No,
I'm
no,
they're
yeah,
taking the
no.
sure,
uses.
yeah, yeah.
Mateo, if Quinn Hughes was allowed to play in the final, we lose.
Eh, thank God Vancouver didn't let
Vancouver's
him.
just a legend for holding him back.
Yeah.
Americans are so mad about that, even though Quinn hasn't played an NHL game yet, and there's been three.
Yeah, so we can move on to the next day basically. Before I move on, Dylan over here has been fucking dead silent because for context for the viewers, this guy back in like 2015 would watch like sports religiously, and now the last like 5 years he's barely watched shit. So like he said he has a lot to say about the final. That's about
Um,
it. And then the
one
Jays.
one thing quickly, Dante,
Hmm.
2015 was a lot more than 5 fucking years ago.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's when everyone was watching, the Jays and all that stuff. But I was watching hockey back then a lot more. Yeah, now I just know some players here and there, so I don't have a lot to say about the rest
Well,
of the tournament, but
no, and
my time will come.
you can talk in the finals, but yeah, basically. So then the next games were Finland, Sweden, and the first meeting of U.S. and Canada. And yeah, Finland beat Sweden. That's what we just talked about. And what was that name you said, Matteo,
What?
for Finland?
Mikhail
What
Granlund?
name did you? Yeah, Mikael Granlund.
Pens legend Mikhail Granlund too.
Minnesota legend Mikhail Granlund.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually really came to play. And Finland
Pat
actually looked pretty good.
yeah, Patrick Laine, I think, was talking shit after, no?
Yeah,
Didn't he
yeah.
call them like the big brother or something?
Yeah, because before the game, someone on I think it was Hedman said that they're the big brother
Uh
between Sweden and Finland. Then after the
yeah.
game, line is like, well, now we're the big brother. Um,
Does that make
but
Canada and US the daddies? I guess. Technically. And then Russia's like the drunk uncle, so
that's a good analogy.
yeah.
Uh, does anyone want to talk about the Canada-US game, the first meeting?
Best first period I've ever seen of hockey in my entire life.
Yeah,
Oh,
I am
agreed. Agreed.
genuinely depressed Canada lost this game because if they won, those highlights would be in my morning routine every day for the next like 6 months, but now I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was insane. 9 seconds, three
I've
fights.
never I've never been more excited watching a hockey game in my life.
Yeah, did you not watch that?
I saw some highlights from the fights, but so basically, what triggers that? Was it from a game
It was a group
before?
chat from a group
It
chat.
was it was a
Yeah.
group chat that
Is
the
Are you
uh
serious?
serious?
Yeah,
United
A group
yeah.
there
chat?
was a big thing about the
Well,
group chats because the
yeah,
Kachuk brothers and JT
and
Miller.
JT Miller
JT
made a group
Miller.
chat to fight
yeah.
Yeah,
and then made like, we're causing shit about the group chat. So Canada made a group chat called Champs after the final.
yeah.
So the Kachuk
So
brothers, are they kind of shit disturbers?
yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
But
basically
they're
huge,
good, so they can back it
huge.
basically
up.
Yeah.
but basically the whole context was they made a group chat to basically start a fight, start fights during the game, and then after the game, Hagel basically said, "I didn't fight because of a group chat. I fought because I'm fighting for my country." And then the Kachuk brothers were basically like. I think Matthew or Brady said something.
Matthew.
I think it was
Yeah.
Matthew
It was
said,
Matthew.
"Oh,
Matthew.
maybe they don't like each other if they don't have a group chat or something
Yeah.
like that." So then after the game, Hagel made a group chat that was called Champions, and it had all the Canadian players in it.
And he
And
just posted a screenshot of like the top part of it on his story.
yeah, on his story. But yeah, that was what came from that. But yeah, the first 9 seconds were insane. There were three fights. They were just everything was kicking off, and then Canada scored. They scored first, didn't they? Or am
McDavid's
I like,
Yeah,
goal.
no,
Yeah, the
yeah.
Canada
nice one of
scored
the
first.
nicest goals I've ever seen, I think.
Oh,
Like just how
McDavid's goal. Yeah,
fast,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, like he went through
yeah.
McAvoy was probably
Fuck,
like
he's so good.
it was like a superhuman play. Like
Yeah.
genuinely.
Yeah.
And
Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
No, no, you go, you go. I don't want to cut you off.
I was gonna say to like a person that like plays hockey or grew up playing hockey, like it's kind of like extraterrestrial how someone could kind of do that like so quick and kind of make Hellebuck guessing with he had like almost zero time to make that deke. It was kind of pretty insane. But yeah.
Yeah, this tournament gave me so much respect for some players and has made me lose so much respect for a guy I didn't hate, didn't really have an opinion on. And Charlie McAvoy in that fucking first Canada US game. What a loser. He's injured, yet he's running over McDavid, running over Crosby, just get injured even more and be out for like probably the next like few months. Like,
yeah,
you're such a loser. Like,
yeah,
So he
Yeah,
was
no.
targeting them.
yeah.
Yeah.
McDavid. He was targeting
well,
McDavid
do you see what
specifically.
he did to Crosby behind the net in the first
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
five
yeah,
minutes?
yeah,
He hit
yeah.
him, got on top of him, hit him again, and then punched him in the head, and then got
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, yeah. McAvoy was playing like a fucking dick that game, and then
Fuck that guy.
McAvoy landed him a trip to the hospital, and now I don't know if he's still there. I know he
no,
has
I think
a
he's back
He's
now.
out of the hospital, but he's not playing anytime
Yeah,
soon.
yeah,
yeah,
he had a shoulder infection because of the hits during that game. It was a previous injury from the one against Finland, but he
yeah,
decided to play,
And
and he just
started
injured himself
playing.
even
Well,
more.
the
So
Team
like,
USA doctor said he was fine, and then they got to Boston, and Boston's like, bro is not fine.
yeah. But actually, speaking of that, since you said you gained a lot of respect and lost a lot of respect for players, after this, I want to go around and I want us all to name a player or two that you gained respect for and a player or two that you lost respect for. Okay, but keep that in the back of your head. I just want to say that now so I don't put you on the
Yeah.
spot later. But yeah. So, anyways, that game. Honestly, watching that game, I was scared if we made it to the finals for one simple fact of Hellebuck and Binnington. Like that being the matchup, I was just like, how is Binnington going to outplay Hellebuck? That was the thing that scared me. Because Hellebuck did exactly what he needed to do. The one goal he let in was just McDavid being McJesus like he usually is, and the goals Binnington let in, like we debated this in the chat, they weren't terrible. They just weren't great. They were just,
No.
you
well,
Well,
know,
they
the
weren't entirely his fault though. Like there was
no,
the
no, no,
one
no,
where
no.
defensemen were covering his view, and like he
Oh
couldn't
yeah,
move
yeah, yeah. No, I'm
between the
not saying
two.
they were
So it's
entirely
like,
his fault at all. They're probably Sorelli's fault for being on the team, but anyways.
or Sandheim's.
yeah.
But,
Sandheim did fuck all that game.
yeah, but
Fuck Drew Doughty's fucking old
Drew,
ass.
Skates like a
he was there
men's
for
league.
their
He's back
he
on.
was there for he was the glue guy. He was there for the glue.
He's injured again
Blue
now.
guy. Yeah, he is. But yeah, so then anyways, moving into the last day, it basically came down to if Canada won in regulation, they go to the final. US was already in the final. Canada won against Finland in regulation, they go to the final. If Finland won in regulation, they go to the final. And then if either one of them won in overtime, it depended on what Sweden did against the US. So basically, Canada was absolutely dominating that game. It wasn't even close. They were up 4-0. They were absolutely killing them. And then they just decided to go to sleep for the last like 8 minutes of the game. And
Mm.
Well,
Finland just
you
made it 4-1, 4-2, 4-3.
well, you
And
know
I
what
got
happens when
scared.
you have a maple leaf on your chest. So
Oh,
Uh,
I'm not gonna lie. I got you guys have to admit.
flashback.
Tell me you didn't get scared when it was 4-3. Like,
oh,
come on.
Yeah,
I
just
did
no.
definitely
terrified.
get scared, and then Crosby made the
Oh, that
play,
was a great play from
Yeah.
one of
Crosby.
the plays of the tournament, the hit, and then the goal.
Okay,
That's what
okay.
you
Plays
don't
plays of
get.
the tournament.
That's
Let's
That's
not
what you
push
don't
it.
get out of.
That's what the captain does on your
That's what you don't
team.
get out of Austin
That's true.
Matthews.
That's what a
That's what I
captain.
was just about to
That's what a
say.
captain does. He
That's what a
scores empty
captain
netters.
does.
Yes,
No, but
yes, you're
it's
right.
not wasn't just an empty netter. It was the fact that he made the game-saving hit and then scored the game-sealing goal.
Wow.
Also on his
Matthews
former
would have
teammate.
probably hit the crossbar from there.
You know what? Like, if you guys are gonna roast Matthews, I have like I can roast Crosby. Like, it can't
But
just
like
be
You
me.
how?
can't though. You
You
What do you
can't.
mean
can't.
how?
Yeah,
You
what
can't.
subject matter do you have on Crosby?
I don't know the fact that his team is in the basement of the league right now.
And the fact that he's the only reason that a single person still shows up to the games.
But Crosby's legacy was solidified long ago, okay? Matthews, look how
Yeah.
much he still has to prove.
Oh yeah, he does still have a lot to prove, of course. I don't know how many times Crosby scored 69 goals, I will say, but
How many
Yeah,
cups
Wait,
but
wait,
does
Cros
Matthews
wait,
Cro
have?
sorry.
Crosby has
How
three
many
Twice.
cups.
cups? I was just
Yeah.
gonna say, how many cups does
Yeah.
Dante,
Crosby? You
how
said
many
three?
Crosby's
yeah.
three,
How
Okay,
and
many
he
okay.
cups
also
does
repeated.
Three.
Crosby
well,
repeated too.
well, Dante,
Yeah,
how
That's
many
three.
right, back
Conn
to back.
Smythes?
Mhm.
How many playoff MVPs does Austin
Not
Matthews have?
yet.
How many are Ross's?
Okay, but
Wait,
I can
how many like round threes does Matthews
okay,
have?
but I can
How many
say
round twos does Matthews
okay,
have?
okay, but I can say the difference is I can say not yet, whereas with Crosby you can't say not yet. He's done. He's
Well,
not winning anything
no,
else.
we're gonna get like Michael Misa this year, and then
Oh
we're gonna
my
get
He's
God.
gonna win a
Gavin
gold medal
McKenna
next
next
year.
year, and then we'll
Okay, he
be
might win a
good.
gold medal, yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, the only way the Leafs are winning a cup is if you bring Crosby over.
It's
That's right. I said it. Yeah.
That's you know
Teach
what?
me,
That's an interesting take.
I don't even
teach
think he
Matthews a
could
thing or
save.
two.
that is
I
a
don't think he
terrible
could save the
take.
Teach
Leafs.
Matthews a thing or two. Why not?
The
It
Leafs could
can't
have
hurt. It cannot hurt.
the Leafs could have every single like top 15 forward and every best defenseman in the league. They'd still find a way to lose.
No, this year's the curse breaker. Like everything is happening so that the Leafs will win.
Everything happens every year.
I don't know. They won Chicago for like the first time in a billion years. So
You guys can't beat Chicago.
not in
Like,
Chicago.
how are
Not
we
in
getting
Chicago.
into a conversation about roasting the Leafs just because I said the Penguins are in the basement of the league? Like, that is a fact. It's not like
No. We got into it because Sidney Crosby did
Watch
what captains
Matthews
do.
have
They
that
win the
roster.
game, Dante.
Well,
he
Dante.
scored an empty net goal.
Well,
But you're
Dante,
not
actually,
listening.
the Penguins aren't in the basement of the league. They're on like the fifth step, like towards
Okay,
the
my
basement. They're
bad.
almost there.
No,
And also, also, no, 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 no.
You do not get to interrupt you right now.
Go. Okay, go.
So Crosby made the game-winning hit and the game-winning goal.
Mhm.
I did not see any other captain doing that in this tournament. Maybe
Okay,
they
but
didn't have the chance to, but you know
okay,
what? That's what captains do.
okay.
They,
So
they
number one,
step up in the clutch.
okay. So number one, you just said that no one else got the chance to. So how are they going
Well,
to do that?
actually, Matthews did get the chance to, but he got robbed three
He
times.
got
Actually,
robbed. He did have the
got robbed
chance to.
4 times.
Yeah.
That
One
is
off,
true.
one off the
But
blocker, 2 glove saves.
okay, but secondly, I guarantee you, if Matthews was in the exact same position as
He wouldn't
Crosby,
have hit the guy.
No, no,
He
no,
would
no,
not
no.
make that hit.
no, wait, and made that play, you guys would have said, I would have said, oh, you see that play, and you guys would have said, he scored an empty net goal. Who fucking
Well,
cares?
no, I would have said, did you see that play? Matthews tried to hit Mikael Granlund and got his fucking shit rocked.
I'm sorry, but I like Austin Matthews, but he does not make that hit.
Matthews say, "Oh my
You do realize,
shoulder."
please go watch the clip back, because I'm surprised no one has said it. Crosby didn't mean to make the hit. He bumped
He
into
did.
it.
No,
Yes, he
he meant
did.
to. He meant to
Dante,
do that.
Dante.
What?
Captains
That's
find
how
a way.
Sidney
Are you blind?
By the
Dante,
way.
that's how Sidney Crosby
Thank you,
hits now
Dylan.
because if he actually tries to hit someone, he's old. Okay, he's not gonna run him over.
So, okay, so either it was a terrible hit or he didn't mean to hit him, because really he
I think
It was
I think he
no,
meant to like
no,
bump him off.
Dante.
Like
It was a
like,
great hit with terrible technique.
then yeah, okay, maybe that's the case because he fell off of him. Like he
It's also
literally
Sidney
fell off
Crosby.
of
He
him.
doesn't try to hit people. He's 5'11". Matthews is what, 6'2"?
Yeah, and
And yet
Matthews,
Matthews doesn't hit people.
you're right. Matthews wouldn't have tried to hit him. He just would have taken the puck off of him.
He
No,
would
he
have got
wouldn't have.
walked.
And then yeah, you do like a turnover or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, if Crosby doesn't make that hit, the game is tied because Finland has all the momentum in that
Eh.
Okay, and
section.
also I
That's
don't know
debate.
where
That's
is this narrative that Matthews doesn't hit? Like if it was Marner, I would get it. Matthews does hit.
I don't know. Marner played really well this tournament.
I didn't say he didn't, but he doesn't hit, that's for sure.
Also,
what
personally,
what
just
what?
because
So when did we talk about Marner though?
personally, just because
You
I
brought up
don't
Marner.
want this to go all night, Dante, like get fucked, buddy.
All right, great, terrible opinion. So, anyways, moving on to the next game, which was the U.S. Sweden game, which no one really gave a shit about because it didn't matter anymore after Canada won. So we're not even really going to talk about
Well,
it.
it was nice
Well,
seeing US get
actually,
their like shit rocked. So
I think it mattered quite a bit in like the long scheme of the tournament. With the US losing that game, they were the losers of the last game going into the finals.
they didn't
That
have their team.
Yeah,
Like
I was going to say, but like,
right. But the momentum still plays a factor in that. Where Canada
Matthews had a
won.
tummy ache. He
You had
couldn't
to you had
play.
to have a rest. Did you get a massage too during the game?
Okay, hold on. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like even overall, the mental factor is we're number one. We can sort of lay back a little bit, kind
Yeah.
of thing. Take it a bit lightly, the next game. It's just Canada. We beat them before. Nah, that's not what happened. Canada beat Finland in a thriller, and you know what? It translated into the finals of Canada just continuing their tough grit and grind kind of team vibe going on. And the US sort of not really like laying back, but not being the aggressive selves that they were in the first Canada game.
yeah.
On to the big one.
So on to the big game.
On to the big game you're watching on Mateo's janky ass TV.
Yeah, this is the one. You know what, Dylan? You could speak first about this because you haven't talked about anything. So in the finals, what do you have to say about the finals?
Okay, well, we can talk about Binnington first. All right. I think what Dante said before about the matchup against Hellebuck, right? That was crazy that he put on the performance that he did. So I feel like they did the 3 stars, right? Like any
Yeah,
other hockey
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Who was it McDavid who got the first one? Because he won
I
it?
actually don't know who got the
Was it?
Yeah,
stars in that
McDavid
game.
got the first star, and then I think Binnington was two.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I was
And
gonna
then
make the argument
Kachuk
that
got
Binnington
three,
should
I
have been
think.
first, but
Yeah.
obviously, okay, McDavid gets it. But yeah, that was a great performance by him. That was the highlight for me. So yeah, it was amazing. And to go to
Yeah,
OT, like,
yeah,
just do what we
that's
do.
unreal.
Well, you
And
had so much to say, and that's what you said.
Well,
well,
I want to highlight the Binnington versus
even
Hellebuck and then
better.
let everyone
Well,
talk about
you know
that.
what?
Well,
I agree with that.
if you look at the performance, because the best goal scorer in the world had grade A scoring chances on Jordan Binnington, and the best overall hockey player, not goal scorer, even on his own team, because Leon Draisaitl's a better goal scorer, had a grade A chance, and Connor Hellebuck didn't make the save. So I don't know. Great play by Binnington. That's it. I can
Yes,
see
sir.
Dante getting kind of
Well,
mad,
no,
but
because
No,
Ryan said he's the best goal scorer in the league, so I'll take that. But anyways, yeah, no, it was a great game. McDavid did what like top players do, and he came to play in the big moment because really that whole game, like he didn't play well at all. Like I didn't really watch that game and go, oh, like McDavid's been buzzing or anything. Actually, a name we haven't said the entire time talking about this is like pretty much is McKinnon played an
oh
insane
my
tournament.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He
tournament
McKinnon
Insane,
was
MVP.
yeah.
incredible.
he deserved that tournament MVP. He played so good.
Well, I mean,
Like
Sidney Crosby exists, but I could see why you'd give it to Nathan McKinnon.
just had to
Dante's not
find a way
going
to
to
bring him up
praise.
again.
Yeah.
No,
but
but let's be real. Nathan McKinnon is unreal,
yeah, he
and
is.
like I think he had what 4 or 5 goals in the tournament.
Four, I think.
He's the best
Yeah,
player in the world right now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that tournament was just like it was so insane to watch.
yeah.
And
And mixed
he
with his regular season, like he
yeah.
looks
Yeah. No,
unbelievable.
he's been phenomenal this entire year. But yeah, it was I no one notice something. I don't know if you've noticed this, Dylan, but you notice how like we've talked about the finals, whatever. Not one person has said anything about Mitch Marner. Like,
I was about
it's
to
just
say it. I was
Well,
waiting. I
Dante,
was
Dante, you've
waiting.
actually said it already, so we feel like he's gotten enough because we all know he's coming to
oh,
Pittsburgh
really?
next
But
Yeah.
year.
when you say
Well,
Crosby,
no,
Mateo has to repeat it,
but
Dylan has to repeat it,
but we
Chris has
all
to
know
repeat it.
Marner's coming to
Okay,
Pittsburgh next year, so like there's no need for you to keep getting
But
Okay.
hang on,
Okay.
if I know anything about hockey, and just correct me if I'm wrong, everyone shits on Marner, right?
yeah,
But he's always assisting, and
yeah.
you guys say he doesn't. Well, not you specifically, but people say that he doesn't show up when it counts, right, in the playoffs for the Leafs and whatnot. But every time he is showing up, he's just not like
Well,
highlight. He's just not the star.
he can
But
only
he's
show up when Austin Matthews isn't bringing him down.
Yeah, literally.
All right, hold on.
He's
So
not worrying about passing to that clown all the time.
in the finals, I will say that I know we're giving Matthews a lot of hate. He did play pretty well with his two assists in that final game. Unfortunately, I know what Ryan's about to say. He did miss his rotation on Connor McDavid.
He had a
That let
blown
the.
coverage and missed three grade A scoring chances in overtime.
But
Like
did he miss them, or was Binnington just better?
he is the best goal scorer in the world, and you have three grade A scoring chances. I don't care what goalie is in net, you have to score one. Like
Brady Kachuk's was the worst though, if we're gonna
I
say that.
guess,
there
I
wasn't a
guess.
single there wasn't a single player I think in the world you would rather have in that situation than Austin Matthews.
No, that's fair, but I think Binnington just read him too well
Yes.
in
And
that.
if it was anyone else, I know Dante, you're gonna say this is because I hate the Leafs. If it was anyone else, I wouldn't be this critical. But this guy's the best goal scorer in hockey. You have to find a way to put one of those in. You
Oh,
have to.
But
he
the
definitely is
problem
the
is he
best goal scorer in
was the
hockey.
best goal scorer in hockey.
Well, yeah,
Well,
not in his last 9 games.
Not in this year.
everyone has, down years and things
Well,
like
he's
that.
having a down year,
But
that's for sure.
but I think I hope he will come back because at least kind of need him. Going on to Mitch Marner, I have given Marner a lot of hate in the past, due to his Game 7 performances of not really performing that well, especially last year against Boston. He showed up. I am so proud of him right now. He finally showed up, and it could be because he's playing with Crosby. I mean, he played on a terrible line. I think he played with Sorelli. Like,
Playing
yikes.
with Sorelli and Hagel.
Yeah.
Until they
Hagel played
realized
pretty good though.
until they realized let's put him back with McDavid when they got to overtime
And then they
Yeah.
won with McDavid. But you know what? He had 3 assists in that game. He assisted on all
well
three of
two.
Canada. No,
He
no,
had
he had
two.
Two.
three. He had three.
I
Did he
don't think he
really?
had three.
No, he had two.
Are you
He had
sure?
two.
I thought he had three.
Yeah. No, he had two.
I'm pretty sure he had
He
two.
didn't assist on McKinnon's first goal from the blue line.
Harley and Reinhardt assisted.
Yeah.
Right, right,
Also,
right,
yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, two in the game-winning goal. So
He
honestly, I can't be mad at the way Marner played. Like he played really well.
I think he
Yeah,
was maybe aside from McKinnon our best player on the ice.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
because McDavid
McDavid did
sucked,
not
yeah.
play that well. Him and
Yeah.
Marchand did not play that well that game. Especially McDavid. I expected him to. He was really fumbly with the puck, was he not?
Yeah, as much as I'm gonna glaze him, Crosby was atrocious in the 2 games against America
Yeah.
this
Oh,
tournament.
Yeah.
he
He
wasn't
was
that great
solid.
against those games and against the U.S. But again, he's Crosby. You need to
But
know.
when he plays a nation not in North America, he's so much better.
I thought
Hey,
McCarr played really well too. He had a really good finals as well. Colton Parayko, I thought, like was
Mm,
shutting down USA's
Breako was
off.
solid.
He was
Yeah.
really
Well,
good.
Mateo, you were getting excited about McCarr when he was dipsy doodling in his own end and
That
nothing was
was
happening.
okay. So for viewers to understand, this guy, a forward was coming towards him. I think it was JT Miller. He fucking skated backwards around him. You know how hard that is to do on a
Mateo,
fast forward to
you
skate
know if
and
he
then
you
and
know
then
if
did
he
it.
made the breakout pass, we would have been in the offensive zone by the time he was done dipsy doodling around.
I don't give a fuck. That was the nicest piece of
It was
skating I've ever
nice.
seen in my
It was
life.
it was unbelievable,
You know how
but it was
genuinely
so
insane.
pointless.
It's better than Quinn Hughes. Fuck Quinn Hughes, Ryan. Fuck him. I have
When
nothing
he
to
was
shit,
actually has to
bro.
carry his team.
Oh, cry me. Oh, I can't believe. I can't
But
believe.
also, Dante, I do
Wait
want to
for
ask you this based on
McCarr.
what like Chris said. Mitch Marner gets so much hate in the playoffs, but when you look at his numbers, he's the best Toronto Maple Leaf in the playoffs, and his numbers aren't like
That's what I
bad.
was saying before.
Like,
That's what
Mhm.
I was
They're
saying before.
don't get me
yeah, I
wrong,
was just agreeing.
I give Mitch Marner hate because I think just the play style I like watching. Obviously, I know Sidney Crosby doesn't always fall in this. I like watching the play style of like a Matthew Tkachuk type player. Like I like guys who are going to be physical and score goals. And Marner's just kind of soft.
Mhm.
Numbers wise and production, he doesn't even slow down that much in the playoffs. Where like it's not like how can people say he's the problem? He's always the scapegoat, yet he's the best one.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think honestly, in the end, like it come in my opinion, Nylander has come to play in big moments for us a lot of the time. Marner, yeah, it's a little inconsistent, I guess you could say, because some games in the playoffs he'll come like he'll have big games, and then some games he'll be like pretty much invisible. But I think it comes down to, in my opinion, as much as he is my favorite player, Austin Matthews has had series like the one against Tampa where he put the team on his back, but then he's had series where I think the one against Florida, it was only 5 games, but he did absolutely nothing. And it's like, how can you be the best player on the team, a top at the time, probably top three player in the league, top five player in the league, whatever you want to say, and you just disappear? Like you can't just disappear. You can have like, an off game here and there, but in the playoffs, as the best player on your team, easily you can't like disappear. And I agree. I think Marner gets way more hate than Matthews does, which just isn't justified, but it's just like Leaf fans just love to stroke off Matthews. So
Cry baby
And
Matthews, yeah.
the great thing about the NHL playoffs is you can have, if you're good enough to carry your team, you can have three bad games in a series. If
yeah.
you are electric for the four others and carry your team to
Oh
wins,
yeah.
no one will care.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just the second you're the best player on your team and have four bad games, you need at least one bailout.
Oh,
And asking
100%.
for a bailout in the playoffs is kind of rough.
I
100%.
I do want to say one thing about Marner. I feel like if Marner shoots more, I think he could be a superstar instead of just a star in the league.
I think he's a superstar right
I think
now. Broke
he's
broke
already
his
Yeah.
an elite
100
player.
points like
Yeah,
every year.
he's already elite.
He's actually
Yeah.
Like,
never hit 100 points.
Yeah, he
I'm
has.
talking
Doesn't
about
he get like
like okay, hold
99
on,
every
hold
year?
99, yeah.
Oh,
on.
okay.
When Marner
Potato,
shoots,
potato.
when
One to
Marner
10.
shoots, it's a rare occasion, if I'm being honest. I don't really see him shoot that much. But when he does shoot, they go in. He needs to shoot more. That's my only complaint with Marner.
Yeah, but then his point totals will probably go down because he's like, all you have to do when
Right, but
Pappy's going
win
off is
But
give the
games,
maybe he
puck to
just knows his
Pappy.
role. Maybe he just
right.
knows his role and he assists and that's what
It's
works.
Right, but I think in order for the Leafs to take the next step, I just think Marner needs to shoot more.
like, I agree, but at the same time, you can't risk his playmaking ability because he is out of forwards in the league, top five playmaker.
Yeah.
Like, I'm only saying top five to be safe because I can't think right now.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But there's
That
only two forwards that come to my head above him right now, like
that's
off the top of my head.
like
So,
there's times that I see Marner have the perfect angle and he'll pass the puck. Just take the angle.
but
Like
like, does Pappy have a chance to rip one though?
yeah, but then he has a chance to riff one.
But like, it's Pappy.
Right, but the over reliance on Poppy.
Yes, no, I understand what you're saying. To an extent, yeah.
I,
Ryan, actually, like, Ryan, I want to know who are the two better playmakers. I'm just curious off the
That
top
I
of your head.
off the top of my head was
oh my God,
McDavid
he's gonna say
McKinnon.
Sidney Crosby.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
McDavid. Okay.
Forgot about
I
Danton
thought
Heinen.
I thought you were gonna say Crosby for a sec.
Did you remember that goal I showed you from last night, Mateo?
He played makes for the other team now.
Danton Heinen skated. He got the puck in between his own hash marks last night, skated directly into the Flyers forward, turned it over, and they had a tic-tac-toe goal. Like Dante, after this, go watch the highlight of the sixth goal in the 6-1
Okay.
loss. Oh my God. It was terrible.
Uh, it's funny that we're doing the Four Nations review and I can't like talk about the Leaf game last night. That's so frustrating. But
I mean, you still
anyway,
can.
it's fine. I just Bruins suck. That's all I wanted to say.
Well,
Yeah, fuck
Marner
McAvoy.
did. Was that when did he score the OT goal?
What do you mean?
Last night in
Last night.
The last
overtime, I would
night?
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would.
you
So he's
see,
continuing his
Marner
clutch, yeah.
shoots. Marner shoots to win
Well,
games.
he didn't
They
really
won.
shoot that one.
Well, he deked out
He
Swayman.
kind of
And
Sway,
slid.
Swayman's jock was in the stands.
So like, hold on. He
So,
scored the overtime winner against Sweden. He assisted on the overtime winner in the Four Nations Championship, and he got the game winner against Boston. You can't tell me that if he doesn't shoot more, the Leafs will win.
And yet, the best thing he's going to do in the next few months is name his son Sidney Marner and come to Pittsburgh. So,
On the bright side, if that does happen, Mitch Marner jerseys will be on sale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
facts.
Can already
that's
get you a
true.
deal here.
But yeah, so anyways, I think we can move on from the finals. We kind of went very off topic, but yeah, the just a fact about the game, and just because I want to call out the NHL real quick. The this game was watched by 16.1 million viewers in North America, with 9.3 million viewers in the US and 6.3 million in Canada. So I just want to know, like, so like if you're Gary Bettman, like, did you think this wasn't going to happen? Did you think, hey, let's do a best on best after how many years was it without best on best?
Nine
Nine or something?
years, 9 years.
9 years. It took him
Well,
9 years to
well,
realize
no,
that.
Dante. It took him 9 years for the USA to be competitive enough for him to not get blown out.
What? No, they had
That's
Phil Kessel on their team. What are you talking about? Phil Kessel and Bobby Ryan.
we all knew this was going to happen. As soon as
NHL
best on
Player
best.
Assistance Program legend Bobby Ryan.
Oh, okay,
th-
okay.
This was, I have to say, this was the first thing the NHL has done in years that I gotta say they outdid the NBA, the NFL with taking out the All-Star game, putting this in. Was the best thing they've done in like
Wait,
my life,
you don't
basically.
so switching the Stanley Cup playoff logo to the new shitty one didn't outdo the NBA?
Yes, Chris, go.
All right, so I just wanted to say something that I did like this better than the All-Star game. The NBA one absolutely sucked this year.
So bad.
It was so slow and so boring. There was only 40 minutes of actual basketball, and I kind of like how the NHL is sort of rotating between things. Like you had the Four Nations this year, next year's the Olympics. Then I think they'll
It's
do
the
the
All-Star
All-Star.
game,
The
yeah.
All-Star game will be 2027,
And
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 then
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 World
it'll
the
be
Cup.
World
it'll
it'll
Cup.
be the
be
World
World
Cup of
Cup.
hockey.
And then it'll be
It's
All-Star
like
game, then Olympics. They're getting it
Yeah.
into every other
exactly
year.
like
Yeah.
I like that because it makes the All-Star game not feel redundant, and that's a problem that I'm seeing with the NBA at the moment. Where it's just like the All-Star game is like, okay, where do you go from there? But then when the Four Nations comes, these guys are literally trying to kill each other for their country.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
And
it was
it
very
was just
smart.
so entertaining. And I know a lot of us felt like this. This is the most excited that I've been watching a sport in a while.
Yeah.
You know, it's good when Stephen A. Smith is talking about it
Yeah.
like all the time on ESPN with PK Subban.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of crazy. Like it showed that it kind of catered to like a new audience in the States. I even saw on TikTok like people were trying to learn
Those are my
hockey.
favorite
Yeah.
TikToks to watch. Like they're so funny.
Yeah, like one person recommended to them Patrick Kane highlights and someone was reacting to them. Like I think it was
Flight reacts.
Flight. He goes, "Oh shit."
Now, listen, not to bring politics too much into this, but wouldn't you guys say it was kind of perfect timing with the climate
Yeah,
between
Oh
Canada
perfect.
and the
yeah,
US as
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
well?
When the
Yeah.
U.S. secretary like is talking about I've never seen that in like any sport where the
Yeah.
government is actually talking trash about the other
Yeah.
country's team.
Yeah.
Like that would hype me up in the dressing room just off by that.
Yeah, and it's and on
Yeah.
top of that, like you got US players saying we got to do this for Donald Trump. Like, okay, take his fucking orange penis out of your mouth because now look what happened. Did you do it for Donald Trump? No, you didn't.
Well, didn't was it John Cooper say the entire country of Canada needs a win right now, not just the
Yeah,
team?
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So, we're gonna keep booing their anthem. Fuck their tariffs. Fuck their president. Fuck their country. And anyways, yes, Chris.
And
Sorry. I don't
So
want to
much
keep raising.
rage.
I don't want to keep raising my hand here, but the thing that I liked about this tournament is the players did exactly what we wanted them to. They went out there and they gave us everything they had. Drew Doughty went in there on a bum knee, and he gave us
And you could tell.
as much as he had, as
skate
much
Oh,
as he
skate like a
had
chicken
left,
out there.
he
Yeah.
as
got
much as he had left
all
in
he
the
had
tank.
left was getting rocked in the boards and committing turnovers.
Brady Kachuk hit him the same way like in the first game and the second game, like right into the boards, like
Who would have thought?
ooh.
That's not what
Who
like
would have thought playing with a
every single one of these players from the country went out there and said, you know what, I'm giving this tournament everything that we have.
minus Travis Sanheim?
Yeah,
Yes,
he
obviously
sucked.
minus Travis Sanheim and ever our favorite player, Travis Konecny.
Oh, he sucked too. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
in the end,
Travis.
I give this tournament four big booms. Boom,
Ooh.
boom, boom,
Why not
boom.
five?
Boom.
I didn't even know what up to five, to be honest. Yeah. So, anyways, we should probably move on, or else we're gonna have another 8 hour
I know
podcast
what
today.
you said earlier though. So we need more than we can't do two now. I feel like it'll take too long, but one player that you
Oh, yeah,
gained
yeah,
respect
yeah, yeah.
for and one player
Sorry.
you lost respect for. I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
start
yeah,
it
yeah.
off quick.
Go, Ryan. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't want to take what other people are gonna be saying, but lost respect, I already said it. Charlie McAvoy, guy's a bum. You can also throw either Kachuk in there, but gained respect, I would say the obvious ones, but I'm gonna, I'm honestly, it's honestly a shock, but Braden Point, I had respect for him, thought he was great, but he played a role in this tournament that I didn't think I would ever see him play, and
Yeah.
I already loved him, but now I just like respect a different part of his game.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree. Dylan, you know you go with yours because like you're gonna copy everyone else's answer if I let you go at the end. So who's a player you gained respect for and a player you lost respect for?
Okay, well, with not knowing too much, okay, because I'm an oldie and I don't watch a lot.
I gained respect for Sidney Crosby.
No, 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 I'm not gonna say that. Um, I would say I gain respect for Marner because I've shat on him as well in the past because I just jump on the bandwagon, especially not knowing a lot about him and about yeah, I just don't study him like Dante does or you guys do. So
Study.
yeah, that. Good thing the viewers can't see what he just did. Anyways, I'd say gain respect because it gave me more perspective, seeing that he actually does show up, and he's proven that to all the haters. Someone that I lost respect for. This one's a little harder for me because, like I said, don't know too much, but I don't like it when players are cocky, just in general. I don't like that. I like just, you win, you go out, you win your game. That's it. So, Brady Kachuk, fuck you.
There you
That's
go.
W
fair.
picks, W
Like,
picks.
who makes a group chat? Who makes a group chat like that? Come
Well, if
on.
Kachucks were mad,
You would
they
have thought
weren't
he
supposed
won
to
the
talk
Stanley
about
Cup
it.
too after he scored his the first goal. It looked like he won the Stanley Cup.
I'm just kidding, Brady. Don't beat me up, all right? Couldn't take you.
Now you
You're a
could
great
take
player,
Brady.
but it's a little childish.
Now you could take Brady.
All
Guy's a
right,
bomb.
Mateo, you go with yours.
I would choose one off the board. I'd say gain more respect for Sam Bennett. I thought after he didn't play in the first game, he was very tough on the boards. He made a few big hits in the USA game when Canada needed a bit more grit. He fought Brady Tkachuk, which made me 100% more happier. And he scored that big goal in the finals, which is a beauty of a goal and had me insanely hyped. A player that I gained less respect for. I never really had respect for him before because he's a bit of a crybaby, but JT Miller, I absolutely hate him. I enjoyed every punch Colton Parayko gave to his head, and when he
And
punched
yeah,
himself,
I was gonna say, can't forget that one.
yeah, he's a crybaby. So, I'm glad he lost in the finals, and yeah, two players.
All right. People I've lost respect for, both Chichuk brothers. They're just disgusting. Like they're so good at hockey, but their tournament was just I just lost respect for them this tournament. Player who I gained respect for. I used to hate Brad Marchand, but I have gained some respect for him in this tournament. I liked the way he played. I liked how he just sort of was more of an ice general. Not he's not making too big plays, but he was did enough to the point where every little bit mattered.
Remember when he went to go bother Poppy? You
I
remember that
did.
play
I
when he went to
do.
go
I
hold his
do.
hands in the corner? That was one of my favorite plays right there. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with different players as well. I'm gonna go with gain respect. We already talked about some of the guys, so I don't want to go with like Brandon Hagel or like Jordan Binnington because we already kind of talked about them. I'm gonna go with someone not on Canada. I'm gonna go with Jacob Slavin just because
Traitor.
he just man, after watching that, he is the best defensive defenseman in the NHL. Like that guy, like man, just insane the way he played. But yeah, I gained a lot of respect for him, and I'd say someone I lost respect for. Excuse me, I'd go with Austin Matthews. Because
What?
What?
Whoa,
That's the
wait,
biggest twist I've
oh,
seen
are,
in
are
the
you being serious? Are
podcast.
you being
yeah, I'm
serious?
being
No, come
serious.
on, you're joking.
Whoa, no, no, no,
No.
no, no way.
Yes,
Not Hawkenpaw?
I lost. I lost respect for Austin Matthews because I think that he was just like, if this is what I have to expect out of him in big games after at least Marner proved himself and showed like, hey, you know what, in big games I can come to perform. And I'm not gonna lie, like he didn't play a bad tournament, but if you are the best goal scorer in the NHL and you are one of the best players in the NHL and you're going the entire tournament without scoring a goal, and really until that finals game, he wasn't even really doing that much. It wasn't like, oh, he's playing amazing every game and it's just not going in. No, he played average the whole tournament until yes, that last game he played pretty well. But like Ryan said, in the end, I'll be the first to say it as well. As much as I like Matthews and he's on my favorite team, when you get the puck in overtime in the finals and you're the best goal scorer in the league, I don't care what the goalie does, you should be putting that puck in the back of the net. It's as simple as that. I don't care. I don't care if Carey Price is in. I don't care if prime Martin Brodeur is in. I don't care if fucking prime Matt Murray's in. I don't give a shit who it is. You should be putting that puck in the back of the net when you have four attempts at it. Like I get it, one chance it happens, but four chances, come on. I'm sorry, I lost so much respect for him when he just disappeared basically. Um,
So what
but
you're saying
anyways,
is
I know.
captains should score.
No, I didn't say that.
Also, one guy I was only thinking about Canada. So the one guy that I forgot to mention that I think I gained the most respect for out of anyone in the tournament other than Hagel and Binnington, it like has to be Samuel Eriksen for me.
Hmm.
He played so well for that Sweden team that I thought was like terrible. Like I hate him because he's a flyer, but he played so much better because in my eyes he was probably the third goalie option on that team and probably the best performing one at least. Like so for a non-Canadian, and I appreciate you bringing up Hagel and Binnington because those were the two I was gonna say, and then
Yeah,
pivoted and kind of
I thought
froze and then said Point because I liked how he played, but
I
always
thought
loved
everyone
Braden
was
Point.
gonna go with one of those, but
Yeah, I've
yeah,
always loved
actually,
Braden Point, but
well, I forgot to say as well, Sam Montembeault, he warmed up that press box pretty well, and
well, he helped them out in practice too.
Yeah,
he was a
he
good
looked
dummy in practice.
His
and
suit looked
he
really
looked pretty
good,
fly.
yeah.
Yeah, his suit was really nice.
No, but
But you know what? If we're picking people also not on Canada, Mikael Granlund.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
he
I had a
played
great
a
He
good
had an
tournament.
tournament.
insane tournament.
See, I've come to expect that from him. He's really good at playing with not great players. Not saying Finland was bad, but like when he's like, one of the better options on the team, he's great. But his actual skill level is like a middle six guy, and he doesn't know how to fill that role.
Yeah, yeah, he had a good tournament though, but yeah, we'll move on. I think we kind of named all the players gaining and
Yeah.
losing respect for pretty much. And sorry, actually, before we move on, I just wanted to say one name that we didn't say. I know he plays for the US, but that we didn't say that honestly was probably their best player in the finals was Jake Gensel. Just had to say that
Oh,
because he
Yeah,
played
he
an
was
well,
pretty
amazing
Yeah,
game.
good.
yeah, he did really good.
I
Mm.
physically cannot gain any more respect for Jake
Oh,
Gensel.
I know,
If
I
there's a
know.
player that isn't currently on the Pittsburgh Penguins that I cannot stop glazing, it is Jake Gensel. I drove to his return to Pittsburgh last year because I fucking love him so much. Like, most underrated player in hockey.
Hey
Yeah,
man,
no,
you know how many
he played
shots he
insane.
blocked that game? He was such a good defenseman.
Yeah, like defensively he played well. He was yeah, he played all around good game, but
And that
and
little five-hole snipe against, was that the first game against Canada?
The first
yeah,
game, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That one that I was mad at and
yeah.
saying that Aiden Hill should go in there.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, let's move on to our agree or disagree segment. Um Dylan's trying to read the questions already.
Get a head
But
start here.
the first one we kind of already touched on, so we probably don't have to have much of a conversation about it. You can probably just say agree or disagree and then move on. But first one is after this tournament and the latest game in the NHL, Mitch Marner has proven that he is ready to perform in the playoffs. Agree or disagree? We're gonna go. Let's go. Mateo, me, Dylan, Ryan, Chris. We'll just go in order of how I have it on my screen. So, Mateo, agree or disagree?
I agree. Apparently he's been doing well in the Boston building. And what is there more pressure than a Canada versus USA game? especially with all the political stuff we were talking about before. I think that is going to be nothing compared to a Leafs playoff game. So I think he's done the tippity top of pressure. I think he could finally go to the Leafs playoffs.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna say agree only because I think it all comes down to confidence, and I think he was lacking a lot of that confidence, and I think that for that Four Nations tournament plus scoring that goal in TD Garden last night to win the game, I think he's just so confident right now, and I don't see him losing that confidence by the end of the year. So I think he will be able to perform this year in the playoffs. That doesn't mean the Leafs are going to make it out of the first round. That just means he's going to perform. Uh, But anyways, Dylan, your turn. Agree or disagree?
Well, I said my 2 cents before. Agreed.
Okay.
I'll make it easy.
All right, Ryan.
Yeah, I agree, but I also think the Toronto Maple Leafs should mic up Mitch's dad for the playoffs and
Oh
see
my
how much he
God.
yells at him.
Oh man. Chris, agree or disagree?
Well, based on my past comments, I'm going to say agree.
All right.
He's proven himself, man. Like, there's nothing else to say. And I think him and Matthew Nyes are like a good duo. And then,
Oh
but
God.
and then we're gonna move on.
Guy
uh,
stinks.
All right. All right. It's
I
gonna
love
turn into
Matthew
an
here we
Nyes,
argument.
go. No, no.
but like
Uh,
that's for our next episode.
yeah. So, anyways, okay. So we got all agrees there. So next one. Again, we honestly already kind of touched upon three of these just randomly, but whatever. Next one is if McKinnon wins the cup and MVP again this year, he deserves to take the throne over McDavid as the best player in the NHL. Mateo, agree or disagree?
That's a really hard question. Are we saying like
I'm not saying
overall
just
or
this
just
season.
based
I'm
on
saying overall, if someone said who's the best player in the NHL, who are you saying? McDavid or McKinnon? If he wins MVP and the cup this year. And assuming if he wins the cup, he wins the Conn Smythe with it.
yeah, I would say McKinnon for sure. Just the numbers don't lie. Clearly the past 2 years he's been absolutely insane for the Avalanche and not even past these 2 years. McDavid has been slowing off a bit, but he's also been fantastic. But I think McKinnon's been on a different level. So I would
Yeah.
agree.
I'm gonna go with the same. I'm gonna agree only because I think in the end, if you said to me who is the most skilled player in the NHL, I would still say McDavid. But if
Yeah,
you said to
yeah,
me who's the best player, if McKinnon does that this year, I would have to say McKinnon only
yeah.
because, like you said, numbers don't lie, and he's a winner. And in the end, what it comes down to is I've always said Crosby is better than Ovechkin for years, and one of the biggest reasons for that was before Ovechkin won a cup he had nothing. Yeah, sure, he won his Rockets. He didn't win a Conn Smythe. He didn't win a cup. I'm saying up until it was
Yes.
2018 when he won it.
One little thing there. You are mentioning that with McKinnon having better numbers, but Crosby has better numbers than Ovechkin in every category but goals. So,
But that's what I'm saying. McKinnon having better numbers than McDavid, and Crosby had better numbers than Ovechkin. That's why I'm saying McKinnon over McDavid and
He
Crosby
said
over
Crosby's better
Ovechkin.
than Ovechkin.
Yeah,
but Crosby's also more skilled than Ovechkin. So like that same.
true he is. But I'm just saying
I
in
get what you're trying to say. I just got to clarify that
yeah
it's
yeah
not the
yeah.
opinion of the podcast here.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, yeah, he had better numbers and he was a winner, and it's the same thing with McKinnon right now. In the past few seasons, he's had better numbers and he's proven that he can win. McDavid hasn't proven that he can win anything. He made it to game seven last year, sure, but barely made it to game seven. So yes, in the end, agree. But Dylan, you.
Okay, so a couple things. Current form, yes. My simple answer is McKinnon, if he does that, is a better player in the NHL right now. But I'd like to also point out that Dante and I recently, a couple weeks ago, went through stats since they've each been in the league. And the numbers, I'm not going to say aren't close, but it's ridiculous what McDavid's done. So overall, I'm still like historically, since they've been in the league, McDavid. That's my stance. But if you're talking about current form, I would say McKinnon for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the first disagree here. I love Nathan McKinnon. He like I I like him way more than I like Connor McDavid. It's too soon, even if McKinnon does all of that, because Connor McDavid had the single best playoff run of any player ever last year. He won the Conn Smythe without winning the cup. He proved that it wasn't him, even though everyone knew it wasn't him. That why they didn't win. Proved he can show up for the big games. It will take McKinnon doing that a little bit more and a bigger fall off from McDavid for me to just overlook that 1 year later.
But McKinnon won a cup though.
But he didn't win the Conn
Two,
Smythe,
if he
and
wins.
McDavid won the cup. Like if he wins either way, McDavid like won the cup, Conn Smythe without winning the cup, which has been done one other time, and it was a goalie.
Yeah,
And
kicker.
let me just interject one more time. Based on the sport, um, are we talking like a player, how they're judged? And it's kind of different among different sports, but are we judging who's better based off of, your team helping you to win that cup? Or are we saying strictly McDavid scored this many goals, this many assists, he's this type of a player, and compared just straight raw stats to McKinnon? Because let me give you an example. Certain players win MVPs and their team is just absolute dog crap. But look at what they've done during the season among any sport again. So are we judging it based off of that or taking your team to a certain point and maybe your stats weren't insane, but they were still good enough and you took your team somewhere and that's why you're a better player.
Well,
Well,
the way
So that's
I'm
kind of the
doing
long
it,
version.
the way I'm doing it, at least when I look at a player, I know this isn't really the most fair way to look at every player because it's different. I value players based on if I'm in game 7 of the Stanley Cup final and I need to win that game, which player am I taking? Because I'm taking
Okay.
the best player who also wins. And although McDavid didn't win the cup, he put that team on his back and just ran out of gas game 7. This dude did literally everything you could ask of a hockey player. And it's showing a little bit this season because that takes a lot out of someone, even though he's still unbelievable. But
So I think it is subjective, right? Like everyone's going to
yeah.
have a
Yeah.
slightly different
so so
structure.
yeah, no shit. That's the point of every
Yeah.
single fucking question.
No, 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 no.
Like it's literally a subjective thing. It's an agree or disagree. We literally told you before the podcast there's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah, but based on
Well,
certain criteria, like it is
it
important.
depends how you look at it. Do you value winning or do you value who's more skilled
Okay, okay, if you're talking
or like
simply, yeah,
Ryan
yeah,
said,
yeah.
who you'd rather in a game 7. But anyways, Kristen gets to speak. Yeah, Chris, what would you like to say?
I am going to disagree. I have spent a little bit looking at some stats and just building off of Ryan's point with Connor McDavid's last year playoff run. It is one of the most incredible playoff runs by a player of all time. So, yeah, I'm going to disagree. Connor McDavid, he had 42 points in 25 games in the playoffs last year. Uh, that is fourth highest all time. Only two players have over 40 in a single postseason. Wayne Gretzky did it twice with 47 and 43, and Mario Lemieux did it with 44. Like, and overall, like Connor McDavid's career, he led the league in points 5 times, led the league in assists 4 times, led the league in goals once. McKinnon has only led the league in games played and assists, which is currently fifth this year, where he's leading the league in points. So no, I'm gonna disagree with you, Dante. I think McDavid still has the crown over McKinnon because I feel like Cup's more of a team thing.
Oh, okay, but then to that point, so you're valuing the play, like how he performed in the playoffs, right?
Well, yeah, because it's historic.
Yeah, okay. So no, but not just that it's historic, I'm saying, but you're valuing just how good he was in the playoffs, right?
Well, yeah,
Yeah, okay. So that just brings me back to what, 2 podcasts ago when you guys all picked Hellebuck over Shesterkin. Just saying, the guy that can't get out of the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
second
You know
round
why?
and
Because what
sucks
the
in the
Oh
fuck has
playoffs.
no.
Oh
Shesterkin?
my
No,
God,
Oh
here
Dante,
we go, here
no.
we go, here we go again.
Dante, what the fuck has Shesterkin done in the fucking playoffs? What has he done?
What do you mean, what has he done?
What
He's
has he
been
done?
insane.
The Rangers have had good teams and they haven't done fucking shit all since he's
And
gotten
he's
there.
still been insane. I
And
thought the
yeah,
cups don't matter.
I said yes, the cups don't matter, but I never said winning doesn't matter. Look at what Connor McDavid did. Look at
Have,
how, look at what
have the
he
Rangers not
fucking
won?
did. No,
Now with Shesterkin,
what
Are
have
you
they fucking done?
fried? They
they
literally went
didn't
to the
win a cup,
conference finals.
but they didn't win a cup.
Dante,
Neither has McDavid. McDavid.
Yes, but McDavid fucking carried a poverty Edmonton team to the fucking final.
What? You have Leon
Went down.
Poverty Edmonton
Draisaitl.
team with Leon
Yeah,
Leon
Draisaitl.
you have
Draisaitl.
one
He's
player.
making
Okay,
Draisaitl seem
you have
like a
one player.
baby
Leon
out there.
Draisaitl's unbelievable. You have one fucking player.
You've nursed him.
Okay, cool.
He sucks.
Um,
You forgot
he's
Matthias
terrible.
Vanmark,
But
bro. Like, Jesus
that
Christ.
team, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Mateo. He brought this unbelievably shit team compared to other teams that win the cup or make it that far to the final. Went down 3-0, put them on his back, and you cannot tell me Leon Draisaitl was good in in that final.
No, he wasn't.
McDavid did it all himself,
He was
and
great in
yet,
the playoffs, though.
and
They were down 3-1. Just saying that.
3-0.
my bad.
3-0,
But
sorry.
yeah, that's what I
right.
said. It's just like Shesterkin. Okay, he's won playoff games, cool, unlike fucking Poppy. But he's like, the thing is, he hasn't carried his team like the way McDavid did. Shesterkin has never been the sole reason that the New York Rangers have won because their teams have all been very good and have been able to produce offense. And not saying he's had a bad game, but there have been games where if he had a bad game, it wouldn't have really mattered and they still would have won. Anytime McDavid had a bad game, they lost.
Okay, so I just want to say because you also brought up Poppy, and I'm not going to let you do that. When we're just going to
Oh,
go to
no.
Hellebuck and say, okay, so first year he made it to the conference finals. Good job, Hellebuck. Then first round exit, second round exit, first round exit, first round exit. And let's see the
Uh,
numbers you put up those years.
um,
922, solid year, solid year. 913, okay. 904, not great. 931, not bad.
Dante, can we just say you're talking about how Shesterkin winning is similar to McDavid winning in your argument about Hellebuck, who has also made it to the same round as Igor Shesterkin?
Yeah, he made it to the same round. And then did you hear the other part when I said first round exit, first round exit, first round
What
exit?
have the Rangers fucking done in the past few years?
I'll read it to you right now if you'd like
Let's
me
go.
to.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
actually.
All right. Well, Sturkin only played one game the first year. So then conference finals his first year.
Yep.
Second year, first round. Fair enough. First round exit. Then last year they made it to
Conference
conference
finals.
finals
Yeah.
again. So two conference finals. Two greater than one. Don't know if you knew that, but
Yeah, and you know
um,
what? You know what? They've both made it to zero Stanley Cup finals.
yeah, they haven't. And the difference
And
is
you know what? The
Shesterkin put
Winnipeg
up.
Jets are a worse team than the New York
The
Rangers.
difference is Shesterkin put up a 929, a 931, and a
Look at his
926.
team. Look at his team. He has Adam
And
Fox on his team, the best best two-way defenseman in hockey. Because Slavin, I agree with your point earlier, but
yeah. So we're just gonna like make it sound like the Jets are just awful.
no, they're not as good as the Rangers were.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
say that.
I agree with
So
Ryan there.
Those
I
They were
Rangers,
agree. I
stacked
agree.
last
Maybe
I,
not
year.
I
last
agree.
year.
I agree, but you're making it sound like I'm comparing one of the best teams in the NHL to like a barely scraping into the playoffs Winnipeg Jets. No, they're not that far off.
but it's further than you're making it seem also.
No, it's
Yeah,
not. They're
yes, it
not that
is.
far off.
The rain, like, I mean, it really is. Like, you have what? Like, yes, you have Shifley, who's unbelievable. This year, I'll give you Shifley. I'm
Connor.
taking, if you're looking in the past few years, I'm taking Panarin. 100%. I don't think it's close other than the past year, like
Okay,
this
yeah.
season.
I'm not disagreeing.
I'm taking Adam Fox over Morrissey because Morrissey's also a little bit more offensive in my eyes. I might be
Hmm.
wrong. I don't watch too many Jets games. And then you also have Chris Kreider stinks this year, but whatever. I'm talking about past years. He's been pretty good. Zibanejad, who's been really good. You're like they had Truba, who was stay-at-home dirty motherfucker who would injure everyone, so you didn't have to play against anyone good.
Hmm.
Like
They
it's
had
just
Kane. Didn't they have Kane that
they
year?
had Patrick Kane for a
Yeah.
year.
Okay,
That
Yeah.
was probably their first
relax.
round exit, to be completely honest.
And relax, Patrick Kane in this day and age.
Lafreniere, Kako.
Yeah,
Uh,
Lafreniere.
okay,
Okay.
not at that,
Kako's been great with the
not at those
Kraken.
times. Yeah, but
Yeah, not at the time
not
he
at those
played.
times. But like
Yeah.
their teams were just better. Like
I'm
they
I'm
just
not disagreeing that they're
if you
better.
look
They
on
are better.
paper, I'm not even saying how they played. If you look at the players they had, you can't tell me it's close.
Okay, but
Adam Lowry,
are you winning a series when your goalie is putting up an
Captain Adam
886
Lowry.
and an 864? No.
no, you're not. And I'm not saying that he won them series, but I'm saying you can't say winning compared to the argument I'm making with Connor McDavid, who had a historic playoff run that's never been done before, and compare that to a guy who's made the conference final
But
and like
I,
on a stacked team.
No, I'm comparing the fact that you're valuing playoff numbers over regular season numbers.
But I'm not. McDavid also has regular season numbers to back him up. Yes,
No, he
McKinnon has
does.
been better lately, but that I'm not. My
he
point
said
was,
right now though.
my point
He didn't say
is
all time.
one, whatever you're saying McKinnon can do here isn't enough for me to overlook that playoff success McDavid had last year and that season because that was so good that it put him so far ahead of McKinnon on my board that it doesn't close the gap enough.
Yeah, and I
Because
understand. Like,
in
I,
your
un
assumption of McKinnon winning whatever, that's
yeah,
assuming McDavid doesn't make the conference
of
final,
course,
like,
yeah.
and has a great season. Like, it's just could go either way. Not saying
Yeah,
McKinnon's bad. I love Nathan McKinnon. He's unbelievable. Clear-cut second best player in hockey.
mm,
But
I would argue when the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup, they didn't have that great of a team.
they didn't have that great of a team.
Like literally, okay, they had Kadri, Makar, Nikushkin.
Okay, but also keep in mind
Rantanen
context here, the year each of them were, like the
and
year they were in when they won that cup. Because if
and
I'm not mistaken, was that Makar's second year
I
or
think
his?
so. But
Yeah.
So that
if
wasn't
he
like
was,
Logan
if he's
O'Connor.
if he's the best defenseman in the world, shouldn't matter if it was his second year or not. You're also forgetting to
Wait, say
mention
that
Mikko
again.
Rantanen.
Wait, what was
He's
it?
if he's the best defenseman in the world, shouldn't matter
Oh,
if it was his second year. He was playing unbelievable. He went to college, like he was older. College kids come in and they're way better than rookies in from like the OHL. And he was unbelievable that year.
yeah,
So
well,
I
he
don't need
was
to hear
unbelievable that year.
second. And Mateo's very, very kindly forgetting to mention Mikko Rantanen.
yeah, no. Well, obviously Mikko Rantanen, but also Edmonton has Draisaitl and Bouchard, where Bouchard had an insane playoffs as
Oh,
well.
yeah,
Like
sorry,
you
and
overlooked
Mateo,
that.
you
You
Mateo,
also
overlooked.
failed
Mateo,
to
Don't,
mention.
no, no, don't say the defensive
Mateo,
stats.
Mateo.
If
No,
any other
Mateo, can you
defenseman
shut the
did,
fuck? Can you shut the fuck up?
you shut up,
Mateo,
bitch.
Mateo. I
He grabs his
will
mic, he
find
grabs
any reason.
it.
I will find any reason to shit on Cale Makar just because it's funny. You did not just compare Evan Bouchard to Cale Makar.
I did not compare. I just said he played really good. You want to look at his
But
Evan Bouchard's playoff stats? Like if you want to compare playoff stats, you could do that.
I like Evan Bouchard. He's cool.
he's
You,
good.
and you also
But
failed to mention Mikko Rantanen, the product of McKinnon. He sucks anyway,
Yeah,
right? He's
and he was
yeah,
talking
terrible.
trash about him.
what's he doing
Hunter, you
right
remember he
now?
was talking trash about
Yeah.
him?
Exactly. So why are
And
you
when he played
highlighting
with
him?
Nathan, because
Contradicting
when he played with
himself.
Nathan McKinnon, he was a top five player in hockey.
Oh
100%.
my God. Bro
100%.
contradicted
Not at
himself.
all.
Well, yes, you did.
No, you can be a product of McKinnon and still be fucking good. Great
So
players make their teammates better, Mateo. That's all I'm saying here.
so
McKinnon
Bouchard
made
had
me,
32 points in 25 games in the playoffs.
yeah, unbelievable
Yeah, let's take a look at Kel McCarr's stats
when he
during
won the
that
Conn
play.
Smythe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's take a look.
yeah.
Regular season playoffs 2022. He had 29 points. So by your
How many
standards,
how many
that
games though?
means
How
Evan
many games?
Bouchard's better than Kel
How many games
McCarr. Am I
though?
right?
But it's also
Um,
not because
yeah.
if you
25
look at it,
games.
but if
25
you look at
games.
it, how many if we really want to get into it, how many assists are on plays where he dumped it to McDavid in his own end and McDavid went end to end? How many
How
of
many
them?
plays did Mikhail McCarr dump it to McKinnon? I could say that too.
Mateo,
What does it matter?
I know you're rage baiting and I'm fucking playing into it right now because I can
I'm not rage
100.
baiting, bro.
Okay, sure.
And
I'm
no,
My
no,
not.
last
no,
my
no.
last point because we do need to move on because I am fucking gassed and I know Chris is too. If I'm defending Kale McCarr, you know your take's terrible. That's the last thing I'm gonna say.
Okay, but
But
if that's
I just proved your point wrong by
You
you're comparing
didn't though.
playoff stats. And when I said Bouchard has more points than McCarr.
McCarr won the Conn Smythe for best player in the playoffs that year.
Okay.
Bouchard would have been fucking fourth for the Conn Smythe.
But you just said he had a historic year. I think Bouchard had a pretty close
I
historic year
said
as well.
McDavid had a historic year because it has never been done before. Bouchard, I'm sure there's been a defenseman who's put up numbers like that,
I don't
playing
know,
with
bro.
fucking Wayne Gretzky or some shit or Mario Lemieux.
We will move on, but before we move on, I just wanted to say that I think in the end, you're also like you really, really downplay that Edmonton
Edmonton,
team,
yeah,
making it
like
sound like
trash
he was playing
cans.
with a bunch of fucking bums when he's playing with 50 over 50 goal scorers. Zach Hyman, who led the fucking playoffs in
Okay.
goals, with 16.
Okay.
By
Yeah.
the
Okay.
way,
Dante.
oh,
Dante.
here we go. He's gonna
Dante.
go. Yeah, but he did that
Oh yeah,
because of
No, no, no,
yeah,
McDavid.
no, no,
yes,
Dante.
Dante
That's not what
agree
I'm
with
saying.
Go,
you.
go,
Oh
go,
my
go,
Dante.
go.
God, yeah.
Dante,
Holy
are we really glazing Zach Hyman right now?
He's a good player.
He was
He is a
great
good player.
last year.
He
He
is a
played
good player.
amazing last year.
Don't get me
Okay.
wrong. And look, I think Zach Hyman's great. I think Zach Hyman, yeah, can't deny he took 50 goals and that he was great. But if you tell me the impact that they've had on their team, anyone has had on a team in recent memory is as great, if not half as great as what Connor McDavid had last year, you will be lying to yourself.
But again, I didn't say that. I'm just
I
saying you're
know,
downplaying how good that team is.
but I'm not, because look at how they played. Look at how they played in the final. I'm not saying the
Look at how they
playoffs.
played in the
What? You
final.
mean any
Look
other
at
I'm
how
not.
place?
fucking Connor
I'm not.
McDavid played in Game 7 like a fucking bum.
Look at what
A
he
complete
I
bum.
yes, but look at what
Oh
he
We've
my
did in the
reached the
first
God.
6 games.
climax.
Look what he did on the first 6 games.
Oh wow, good job. You got to Game 7. What do you get out of that? A fucking silver medal?
At least he did it
Congrats,
four
buddy.
rounds later than your fucking Leafs, buddy. You get
Yeah,
to game
yeah.
seven
Oh,
every year.
there we
And
go.
you know
That's
what we're
your
both
one,
walking home with?
Dante. We
Absolutely
won.
The
nothing.
gloves are
Yeah, I
off.
know.
So there you go. We both got nothing out of it. Congrats,
Yeah.
McDavid. You didn't win a cup, and neither did the Leafs, and they went out in the first
Well,
round.
McDavid
Fuck,
at least got a
congrats.
Wait,
playoff
wait,
award.
wait. Just
So,
so I'm clear, as an outsider. So Dante, are you saying that losing in game seven, and this is just I'm just putting it
well,
out
what
there.
he said is
Losing
losing
in
in game
game
seven in
seven though,
first round is the
is
same
it
as the
this
final.
the same exact thing as losing in the first round?
Yes.
Like, is there no difference basically?
Yes,
In
because
your
you know what you both walk home with? Nothing.
Uh,
Well,
what?
McDavid walked
Well,
home
you
with a
got a bit
Conn
of
Smythe
bragging
that got
rights
mailed
in
into
What?
game
game.
seven, no?
Whoa,
Not
hold
when
on,
you
hold
play
on,
like
hold
that.
on, hold
But
on. Dante,
Dante, they
Dante,
were
No,
my
gonna get
guy.
no.
swept if he played any worse.
A first round exit is much different than a cup
The Stanley
loss.
Cup final,
It
yeah.
probably
Especially
doesn't
when
sting as much a first
especially
round
when you
exit.
have well,
That,
yeah, you get
yeah,
more
that's
time on the golf
true.
course too. I bet the Leafs have a pretty low
No, no,
handicap, and
I'm not saying they're equivalent in the sense of you don't get more credit for making the finals. I'm not saying that at all. Of course you get more credit, but I'm saying you both walked home with the same thing. Nothing.
well, McDavid met the Conn Smythe at home. He probably had to get it FedEx to his house, but
Yeah, the Conn Smythe that I'm sure he's so happy with.
I mean, looking back on it now, I'm sure he's not too mad about it. He's mad he lost, but I'm sure he's not too mad
Yeah,
about
I would be
adding
mad
to the
with
trophy
I would be
case.
mad with myself if I played like that in Game 7 when I'm the best player in the world.
Yeah, but you also have to look. He had broken ribs in that game and still played.
I don't
Unlike
give a
Pappy,
fuck
who
if
had a
he had no
cold.
legs. Like
Pappy had a cold and didn't fucking play.
Oh, okay.
it's
Great
just it's
French.
you know what it is? It's just the double standard because again,
What
if
double standard?
Matthews was in that situation, you would say he sucks because he didn't perform in
Not
Game 7. I don't care how he played in Game 1 to
McDavid
6.
sucked. McDavid sucked in game seven.
Yeah,
Yes.
he did.
If Matthews put up the exact same numbers, there would be nothing for me to say because it's on the rest of his team. McDavid can't give you 16 fucking wins in a playoff series while injured. And he sure as hell
No,
gave
but
them
if
15 of
any
them.
game he could, it should be Game 7.
They should have been swept. And he got them to game seven. Leon Draisaitl was a top three player in the world, could have stepped up a little bit too.
Hyman was a top three goal scorer in the world as well. So
Yeah, but
that's easy.
and they both could have stepped up in game seven. And did they? Exactly. And they
Well,
both could have stepped up the entire final. And did they? No. Connor
Hyman
McDavid
did.
did.
What do you mean Hyman
What
did?
did
He scored
what
a
did he
bunch
do
of
in the
big
final?
goals.
What did he do
Scored a
in the
bunch of
final?
big goals. Well, I don't have like a game sheet in front of me. What do you mean? What did he do in
I'm
the final?
asking you
I
what
remember.
he did in the final.
Okay, let's take a look. You want to take a look?
Yep.
Okay. Stanley Cup final.
I
Uh,
don't even remember. I'm not sure if the viewers remember what this agree or disagree was about. I
Bill
don't.
McKinnon.
I don't even
Oh
remember.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was the McKinnon and McDavid one.
uh, okay. Let's see. Game 4. Let's take a look at the Oilers.
Well,
Oh,
Game
you're
4 they
starting in
won.
game four.
Two
Game 4 they won
assists.
8-1, so
2 assists.
But you're
21,
talking about his goal
81.
scoring, so I'm asking you about
Game 3.
what goals he scored. Mateo.
I'm taking a look.
He scored in game five, I think it was. Game five he scored. But in that same
I remember
game,
specifically
in that
scoring
same
him for
game, Connor
game.
McDavid had 4 points. Is that
Game
kind of
In what
five.
game did McDavid have 4 points?
Game
um
five and
when they
game
won 5-3.
six. Game
When they
five,
won,
game
sorry, say
six.
that again.
When they won 5-3, unless I'm counting, it was either 3 or 4. He
No,
had two
no, no, no,
goals.
you're probably right. I'm just asking. I wasn't
He had
sure.
2 goals, 2 goals, 2 assists.
Oh, okay.
Game five and game six, he scored. And he got 2 assists in the
So,
8-1. So
so
I
I
think
just
it's not
I
bad.
I just want to get this straight though. So the game they won 8-1, McDavid had 4 points. Okay? They won
And
8-1.
the game they won 5-3, he also had 4 points.
Okay, so that's 8 of his 11 points in the finals.
Yes.
So he played well in what, 2 games?
You're telling me he played like shit in the last game, didn't get a point. So
Didn't get a point in the
then
game
he
before
had
that
th
either.
so then he must have played well in another game because that would have been 3 points in 2 games.
So game one, he got nothing because they got shut out.
So then he got
Uh,
3 points in one game.
well, no, he didn't
Well,
because
because
he got
you've
an
accounted for
assist. He got one assist in game two
yeah.
that they lost,
Didn't you account for 6 games, or am I just
and
tripping?
and then he got no, and then he got 2 points, 2 assists in game three
I'd say
when they
2 points
lost
is a pretty solid game.
4-3. And then he got most of his points in the 8-1 and the 5-3. Guess what he did in an
He sucked in
elimination
the final.
3-2 game, game six, a huge game. His team won 5-1. Guess what he did? Nothing. Zero. Nothing. And what did
Fair.
he do in game seven? Nothing. Again. And they
Yeah,
lost.
fair. Fair. I remembered that one wrong. I'll admit I'm wrong on that one because I thought he did better in game 6. But
So
again,
in the end, the final point is the glaze was crazy in that final because he finished with 11 points, which is great. Don't get me wrong. But it came in a couple games.
okay, but still he had a historic playoff run. Yes, I get your point. I'm not saying the final was like you proved me wrong there. You can't say the playoff run wasn't historic.
No, the playoff run was
No,
historic.
it was historic. It
And you
was
I just
just
can't
think
you're
that
downplaying the
McKinnon.
Edmonton team.
the entire thing that started this whole fucking bullshit that didn't need to go on was me saying that I don't think whatever McKinnon could do this season, it would take at least one more after this season for him to pass what McDavid did last year because it was historic and it has never been done before. That's all. Not that
All right.
McKinnon's numbers aren't better, can't be better. That has never been done before.
All right, but if McKinnon puts up 43 points and wins the cup, does he pass him?
Yeah, if he has a historic season,
Okay.
like
All
if
right.
he's when you're on a list of the only players ever and the other two are Lemieux and Gretzky, it's tough to argue against.
All right. Well, anyways, we're like over an hour now, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna no explanation for these next two. Literally, just say agree or disagree. There's no
Mm,
debate. Just literally agree or disagree. That's
mm,
it.
mm.
Mateo Austin Matthews will be the captain of US in 2026 Olympics. Agree or disagree?
Disagree. I think Brady Kachuk.
Okay, I agree. Or like disagree. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be one of the Kachucks.
Yeah.
Dylan?
Well, should I disagree just to add some spice into it?
How about you just say fucking agree or disagree because we're already over time.
Okay. What was the question? No, I'm just
Oh
kidding.
my
I'm
God.
just kidding. Yeah, I disagree. I mean, I agree. I think Kachuk's gonna stay the captain or be the captain.
Yeah, not stay
Yeah,
because it
sorry,
was
sorry, sorry.
Matthews.
Yeah, yeah.
Ryan?
I
Matthews doesn't
believe
deserve it. Sorry.
I believe that if Quinn Hughes is there, he's the captain.
Okay. And Chris?
I disagree. I
Okay.
think
So who
that
is it?
that Matthews will not be the captain next year.
So you think he will be?
I think he won't be.
Okay, so you disagree with my statement that he will be the
Yes.
captain. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
Who do you
All right.
think will be the captain?
I'm gonna go with Ryan. If Quinn Hughes plays, Quinn Hughes.
All right. Last one for the NHL. Finland winning that game against Sweden did make them the big brother. Mateo?
No, it's just one game. I don't know.
Okay.
Those are pretty meaningless. I think we have to wait till the Olympics if they play each other, then we could finally decide that. But I don't think we decide that yet.
Yeah, I disagree. I still think
Yeah,
Sweden's the big brother.
yeah,
Disagree. Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty obvious in my opinion.
Right?
Yeah, Sweden didn't have Jacob Markstrom. That's just all I have to say.
All right, and Chris?
Sweden has Willie Nylander, so Sweden's the big brother.
A leaf glaze from the Wild. Fam.
Okay. Well, anyways, now we're gonna hop into baseball. We're gonna make this pretty quick. There's not too much to talk about anyways, it's just the Jays. Yeah, so the agree or disagree is pretty simple. Mateo, you're going to start it again. The Toronto Blue Jays are going to make the MLB playoffs this season. Mateo.
That's I think disagree. I think there's too many new guys and they're all pretty old. I think there's a lot to mesh in, and I don't know. I don't think Vladdy and Bo are happy on that team right now. So I say disagree.
Yeah, I'm going to say as much as I think they are better than last year, I still don't think they're good enough to make the playoffs. So I'm going to say I disagree. Dylan?
Baseball being my number one sport, and for how many years I followed the Jays, it pains me to even talk about it, so I'll keep it short and simple. Disagree. They're not making the playoffs. I love the Jays, but no.
Ryan?
I agree because I think they will make the playoffs because, like Mateo said, I don't think Vladdy and Bo are happy to be there. But my God, do I think a pissed off Vladdy is going to want his bag this summer and go off and go
Well, I
get
didn't consider that.
a Juan
That's a
Soto
good
level
point.
bag somewhere, if
Hmm,
not more.
That's a very good point.
that's a good point.
Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, Ryan. Like, imagine pissed off Laddie just knocking home runs wherever he can. And
Yeah.
like
Someone should get him to
it's a
start juicing.
contract year. It's a contract year, especially because they couldn't lock him up with the extension.
Yeah.
It's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to prove his worth to the Jays. The Jays are going to offer him a contract. It's up to him if he's going to stay or go.
He's as good as gone if he goes off.
I think he goes to
Yeah.
the Red Sox next year. Yeah.
I think if he has an off year, he stays. If he goes off, he's so far gone because like what's happened with every other superstar. The Jays are in it until someone writes a check bigger than Rodgers wants to.
The Shohei
Yeah.
plane
I was
leaks.
just gonna say Rogers isn't gonna cough up much. He's gonna go to LA.
Yeah.
Well, I think let's just get into quickly talking about this whole Vladdy Bo situation, just the Jays in general. Don't get me wrong, I don't think the Jays have had an awful offseason. I don't think it's as good as people are making it sound, because in the end, yes, they got Santander. He's okay. They got Scherzer. Yay, 40-year-old Scherzer. Woohoo. They made a couple, they got a closer, they got Hoffman,
Jimenez.
they got Jimenez. Like they got
Yeah.
some decent players. Don't get me wrong. I think our team is better, but I don't think it's a contender. And at the same time, this whole Vladdy Bo situation, in my opinion, Vladdy is one of the best pure hitters in the MLB. And he had a down year, not last year, the year before, and people started to say like, oh, he's not as good as he was before. And then last year he was second in the MLB in average. His power has kind of disappeared a little bit, don't get me wrong. But hitting 323 doesn't just go under the radar. Like that's still an insane year. And Bo Bichette, until last year, was one of the most consistent hitters in baseball. And don't know what happened. He fell off a cliff last year and he finished the year with a 225 batting
He
average.
was injured a lot
He
though.
was. He was injured
Yeah.
a lot. But before that, he hit 306, 290, 298, 301, 311, like over 290 every year for what was that, 5 years is pretty damn impressive. Led the league in hits a couple of years. Like they're both amazing hitters. And I thought they were the future of our franchise, especially Vladdy. I think when you have a franchise player like that, you should be throwing whatever he fucking wants at him. And the fact that Shapiro is going to let him walk, it seems like, is just pretty embarrassing. And I don't care how much money he asks for. I think when you're Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you can ask for that much money. And it's the same way teams do it all the time. Look at going back to the NHL. Look how many franchise players demand that much money and the teams give it to them because they are the franchise player and they can demand that kind of money. And the team is like, yeah, you know what? You are our whole team. You bring the fans in. You are one of the best hitters in baseball. Like, sign the fucking guy. But I think Shapiro needs to get the fuck out of there. And he pisses me
Passion, I
the
love it.
fuck off. But anyway, someone else can take over and I'm just pissed off.
Yeah, I only have one point here because I don't care too much on it. I feel like as much as like Shapiro should leave, I feel like this is more of a like ownership issue, and I feel like Shapiro would offer Vladdy whatever he wants. I don't think he has the green light to offer him whatever he wants. I think that's more of the issue because if Vladdy leaves, like Shapiro's job's gone. So to save himself, also, you would have to bring back Vladdy, but he's not getting that green light.
Yeah. Yeah, I have something else to say. So Dylan, Mateo, or Chris, you guys talk first because I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant because I have something to rant about with the Jays. So
Well, can the Jays really go through another like rebuild? Not that we went through a huge one, but after 2017, the team just started going like, right? Just for a couple of years. But I don't think the fans want to wait around for that. Rogers, they just have the money. It's as simple as that. They have the money, and they're probably going to be cheap with it. So I don't see Vladdy staying, but at the same time, he's Canadian. Like I think he's liked it here. Bo's a different story, but I think one of the two for sure. You got to lock down Vlad. Like I would give him whatever he wants. I don't know, just based on the Jays' history and Rogers' payment history. I don't think it's going to be good for anyone. But I don't think the fans are going to stand for it. That's the
Which is,
thing.
it's so weird to me that there's no salary cap in baseball, and Rogers refuses to sign players or
Yeah.
even just give them what they have to, because they have the money for it. Let's be honest.
We
They
have
were,
some of the highest phone bills. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt you, but please
Where's my
put
money
that
go
money towards a
to?
contract.
Yeah,
exactly.
What are you
thank you.
doing?
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what I'm saying. Like I know Rogers has the money for it, and I know they were in the mix for Shohei. I know they were in the mix
It's
for
Juan
Juan
Soto.
Soto. Yeah,
And
they
Always in the mix. Always in the
yeah.
mix.
always in the mix,
Yeah.
but couldn't get the numbers done. But
All
I
the
know
time.
they
Never
have the
happens.
money, and I just don't know what they're doing over there. Like I don't really want to see another rebuild, but
Well, hey, we got a pretty nice stadium. That's where the money's going. It
this
is pretty
I will say
looking pretty good.
The Rogers Center is one of the nicer stadiums in Toronto, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah, when you're comparing it to Scotiabank fucking arena, I'd
Yeah.
hope so.
And it's also better than BMO, so
I'll say,
And
well, BMO's the worst
Coca-Cola.
one.
I haven't been to
Coke's
Coca-Cola in a
probably the
while.
nicest one, to be completely honest. That
Yeah.
place is a dump.
Yeah,
But
good thing the PWHL plays there. I watch it all the time.
yeah, but not gonna lie,
Nothing's always cause
as a
issue.
as a Pirates fan, listening to Jays fans complain about not paying people is just fucking hilarious since we haven't paid someone over 5 million in almost 10 years.
Yeah, but you guys don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't have any kind of money compared to what we have.
Not necessarily
Like,
compared, but we have more than enough money to offer. More than
yeah,
five
yeah.
million.
It's
Yeah.
just it's always a letdown here. It's like we're in the mix for these huge names,
Oh
and
yeah.
every year some of my friends they go, "Did you hear? Oh, you hear? We're in the mix for this guy." I'm like, "Yeah, okay.
Cheers,
I'll
yeah.
believe it
And
when I see it."
Yeah.
Like
then
Shohei, I
instead
didn't believe it for a second he was coming here. Why would
and
he?
and then instead we sign 40-year-old Joey Votto who got hurt in training camp. And
Hmm.
he never played at bat
It's
for
like
the Jays.
what I find is that we're either signing guys that are coming off really good seasons and then they don't perform for us, or like older guys like Scherzer.
And
Um,
Turner,
or
yeah.
or
Like
we're
remember
letting
last
guys
year, yeah.
go and they're performing somewhere else. Look, prime example, I won't go on like name after name. Steve Pierce, for example, right? He went on to win a World Series when he left us.
Okay, bro won World Series MVP for one fucking year. He had one good
I'm just
fucking
saying, I feel like there's a
he
curse.
had one good year.
But
I
isn't
mean,
that all Toronto
Teoscar
players?
Hernandez.
Yeah, true,
Chris
true.
Bosh left, he won a
Teoscar too,
championship,
Yeah.
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 right? Like Tuukka Rask was traded, he won a chip.
Zach Hyman almost won a ship.
Okay, all
he
right,
did.
Let's stay focused.
Phil Kessel
Who
left, he
still has
won
to
a chip.
answer?
Like you know what I'm
Phil
trying to
Kessel
say?
won three chips.
It
Tyler
honestly,
Bozak.
did he
Phil
win a
Kessel, yeah,
chip?
that was a good
Yeah,
point.
St.
With
Louis.
Tyler
who?
Bozak, that's
St.
St. Louis,
Louis.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Nazem Kadri.
Nazem Kadri.
Yeah.
Kadri. Yeah.
I don't know. It's could just be a Toronto sports thing.
But yeah, I just have something to rant about. Mateo, do you have anything to say before I rant?
Yeah, I was just gonna
Okay,
say
go.
from like a sales like aspect, when you go to the Rogers Center, you see either Guerrero jerseys or Bichette jerseys. Fans are not going there to see Alejandro Kirk scratch his ass in the bullpen. I'll tell you that for
I know
free.
you're there for that one though.
They're there to see Vladdy hit bombs and Bichette to make good hits. That's the main story right here. And Rogers are not paying these guys. So if they're not coming back, I'm not gonna watch to see old man Santander slowly decrease over the years. If those two leave, who's left? Davis Schneider, is that our future?
I love David Schneider, man.
But
Davis
He's
is
like,
so
sick.
good.
but like seriously, like finally the Jays have two young guys that they could build on, and it seems like they're closing the door on it. Rogers is closing on the door on it. Shapiro's closing the door on it. I don't know. I don't feel like watching the Jays this year. I feel like holding a strike on them just because of that. But yeah, Dante, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to quickly, my quick rant is I just wanted to say, because I saw this post on Instagram too, and I never really kind of thought about it, but the fact that the Jays want to be seen as this top market team. They want to be seen as the Yankees and the Dodgers, and they want to be seen as this top market team. That's why they're in the mix for Ohtani, for Soto, for all these top players, right? So they want to be in this mix of all these big signings. Their biggest signing of all time is George Springer at 150 million. Do you understand how low 150 million is now? Ohtani signed for over 700 million. Soto signed for over 700 million. Aaron Judge signed for more. I can go
Tatis
I can
Jr.
go on for days about all these teams. The Phillies signing Bryce Harper for more. All these teams, we want to be part of those big market teams, but our biggest signing is George fucking Springer. Are you kidding me? Like, don't try to say you're this big market team and then your biggest signing is George Springer at 150 million.
Well,
No, you're not a big market team. They say they're in the mix for all these players. They're not fucking in the mix. They're not in the mix at all. They fucking talk to them. They say, "Hey, want to come to the Jays?" And the guy goes, "Fuck off." And they go, "Oh, we're in the mix. We asked them."
well,
We
Amen.
Dante,
tried.
if it makes you feel better, 150 is probably quadruple our biggest signing ever. And every single Pirates account I follow on Instagram posted an MLB World Series like pennant banner, but on it it said, "We made a phone call to Juan Soto 2024."
No, I gotta say, I do feel bad for you as a Pirates fan, but I can't believe, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Jays are in the bottom five of the league for highest contracts ever signed. How are you gonna say you are a big market team
And we have
and
some of
you're
the
in the
most biggest money.
bottom five of the entire MLB? Teams like the fucking Mariners are signing fucking more higher paid players than us. Like that is just embarrassing. And on top of that, you're gonna get rid of Vladdy and Bo Bichette, the future of your franchise. When I know this is a little ironic coming from a Leaf fan, but these guys are supposed to be, oh, we're World Series bound. You guys didn't even win a fucking playoff game. Never mind a fucking playoff
Yeah.
series. You didn't win a playoff game.
Well,
So frustrating.
another downside of being like the only Canadian team is the like Rogers is Canadian. That currency exchange makes
Oh,
everything seem like
100%.
it's a. I know
Makes
it's
a
the same amount of
huge
money,
deal.
right? It makes it feel like it's so much more because for them to offer
Oh, yeah.
700 million to Shohei, they're fucking offering him $1 billion.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Oh,
it's not just the
100%.
currency exchange. This is where the politics come in too. It's the
The
taxes.
tax,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the taxes. It's the
Well, he went to
weather.
LA
It's like
though.
who would want to come here? I get it. I get it.
I don't
Like,
get it.
Um,
like what happened
I
to
don't get it.
Tavares, man. I think they got like how much? I think
let's
6 million
talking.
away from him or
But in
something.
the end,
Taxes.
it's as
Well, yeah, it's
simple as I
50%.
it's as simple
Yeah.
as I know with the currency exchange, don't get me wrong, it is a harder pill to swallow for the Jays as it is other or Rogers as it is other organizations. I
Well, it's
understand that.
it's not even though because it's the same amount of money. It just looks so
Yeah.
much worse.
And at the same time, all it comes down to is Rodgers is being cheap because in the end, like Chris said, there's no salary cap in baseball, but there is a luxury tax. So if you go over a certain amount, yes, you got to pay a tax out of pocket. But at the same time, if you guys are this big fucking market team, pay it out of pocket. You think the fucking Dodgers didn't have to? You think the Yankees didn't have to? No, they did. And they fucking paid it out of pocket. And the Yankees go to the World Series. The Dodgers win the World Series. The Yankees will never win a World Series because they're fucking shit. But that's besides the
Well, don't
point.
worry. When we lose Paul Skeens in like 3 years because we refuse to pay him and he becomes a Yankee, then they'll win.
Hey,
Yeah,
all they just have to defer all their money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly. But it's just in the end, it's just embarrassing that our biggest signing ever is George Springer. And what has he done? Nothing.
Zero.
Absolutely
Absolutely.
nothing.
Dude, have you seen that smile?
We got
He's a great guy. I've met
I'm
him.
joking. I'm sure he's a good guy, but in the end, it just pisses me off because I'm just sick of this. I'm sick of the Jays fucking just pretending they're this big team that's gonna go win the World Series when their closest chance they've had to a World Series was 2015, 2016, and after that they haven't been close. They've made the playoffs, sure. Have they won a playoff game? No. And it's not like you can say, oh, they were playing some tough teams, whatever. They played the fucking Seattle Mariners. You couldn't win a game against the Seattle
The
Mariners. You let
Rays.
fucking call what's his name? Fucking Rally or whatever the fuck his name is hit a fucking bomb on you. They're
Yeah.
fucking switch
I
hitting.
I
Julio
stood there
Rodriguez.
watching them give up that 8-2 lead. I watched them and it was so depressing. And you know what? Let's talk about Schneider for a second. Like, why is he not out as our coach? Do we have a new
He,
coach? Am I
he's
mistaken?
No,
Why is
no.
he still there?
okay. No, Schneider
Okay,
makes the wrong decisions
Okay,
That's
don't. Yeah,
wrong.
he
His batting
sucks.
line,
He
yeah.
No. Don't.
sucks.
Schneider sucks, but
He
are we making the
sucks.
playoffs without him at manager? No. Are we winning a playoff game without him at manager? No. We're not doing shit. We didn't do it with fucking Charlie Montoya. We're not going to do it with fucking Schneider. We're not going to do it with the fucking best coach in baseball. It doesn't matter
Bring
who
Gibby
we
back.
have. Yeah, bring Gibby back so he can get ejected every game. You know, like I'm just sick of this team. I'm sick of them. I'm so done with this
Dante,
team.
just to make you feel worse about yourself,
Real
He's
I
not
just
done with
stressed
the
searched
out.
Leafs
up
though.
I just searched up the Pirates' biggest contract ever. It's 107 million, so it's like not that far off, and yet we are like one of the smallest markets in baseball.
Who was it?
Brian Reynolds in 2023.
Mm.
Huh.
Brian
And that was just like
Reynolds.
a re-signing.
The guy that used to be on Colorado, that first baseman.
No, I think he was in San Francisco. I might be wrong. I don't know.
Uh,
When I started watching baseball, he was already on the Pirates. So,
Here, every team's largest contracts by total value. I'm not gonna read every single one, but I just want you to hear some of the our oh my our fucking second our biggest extension is Vernon Wells in 2007 for
Don't
126
diss Vernon
million.
Wells, bro. He was a
That
legend back then.
oh my God, and before Springer, it was Russell Martin for 82 million.
for a catch, that's pretty big.
I
Okay,
thought,
but 82 million, we didn't even crack 100.
how
But
about
back then, dude, that was like
Okay,
2014.
okay,
did
wait,
Brett
wait, wait.
Laurie get signed? I thought he got signed a lot.
Yeah, his was a
Dante,
lot
No.
to
too.
make you
Then didn't you start
actually
doing
feel
ketchup
better,
commercials?
to
Yeah,
make you,
yeah.
Dante, to make you actually feel better, the Pirates' biggest free agent signing of all time was $40 million.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah,
So was the Rays, to be fair. But
just no, just
Orioles,
to make, I'm trying to make you feel better. That's all.
the Orioles have a bigger contract. The Rays, the Red Sox, the Yankees, the fucking. Oh no, the Guardians is less. Oh wait, hey,
What about
Guardians is less. The
like,
Royals is more. The
what about the
Tigers.
Oakland, Las Vegas, Sacramento A's?
Actually, who is their biggest one? They must be lower than us. Uh, oh God, their biggest is 67 million.
Oh, well, that's still a little bit more than us. So.
That's terrible. But man, like all these teams, like just poverty teams, and they're signing like the Mariners. Like, are you kidding me? The fucking Rangers. What the fuck is this? The Marlins. Like every team, man. It's embarrassing. It's
Well,
so
the Marlins,
embarrassing.
who was the Marlins? Was it Jazz Chisholm? Then they shipped him off to the Yankees.
The Marlins was Jose Reyes, or no,
Ah,
sorry.
Oh, Jay's
It
legend.
was Giancarlo Stanton for
fair.
325
Oh,
mil.
yeah,
That's
fair.
Who?
Yeah,
fair.
that's a good pick.
Giancarlo
What's the name?
Stanton, Marlins.
Hmm.
That's
The
fair.
the Brewers is more than us. The fucking the
Yelich.
Card. Oh no, the Cardinals is less. Woohoo! Like that's how are there only like five teams below us? The Diamondbacks is more than us. Oh, fuck off. Like literally fuck off. Like this is just it's just so sad, honestly. Like
Well,
I
and the
This
Diamondbacks
is the thing.
defense, they did make the World Series, I think, like 2 years ago.
oh yeah, the Rockies is more too. Did they make the World Series?
No,
Yeah,
This
absolutely
is the
not.
Their
thing, though. I don't know if the
stadium, their
Jays
stadium,
are.
like, is sick.
I don't know if the Jays are too worried because the whole point of them doing these renos is to bring more like non-traditional fans to the stadium, and that's what they've been attracting too. So they're still selling. Like, I'm not gonna say a lot of tickets, but they are bringing in more people because there's just more things to do there now. So I
It
don't know
also
where their
helps.
priorities are, but it seems like
oh, I'm so
that's.
proud of my team. They're bringing more people and losing their players.
It also helps that
And by
their
bringing in
tickets are
more
But
people,
cheap
why
they
would
too.
have
they
like
care
a
as long as they're
colder
making money,
capacity.
right?
Yeah,
That's fair. Yeah, I
they
get
don't
that.
care. That's the problem is they're doing what the Leafs used to do back in like the early 2000s and the 90s where they bring players in that have a big name like Scherzer. Meanwhile, they're fucking 40 years old, but people just see, "Oh, it's Max Scherzer. That's sick. He sucks."
That's
You
gonna be like
can't
McDavid in 49 years,
literally.
and
The Leafs are probably going to go pick up McDavid when he's 56 and be like, "Oh, we got Connor McDavid. He puts up 1 point in 82 games because he can't move on the ice." But like this is what they're doing, and it's like they're not trying to win. They're just trying to make money. That's all they care about because they're greedy fucks, and all they care about is money. So I hope Shapiro gets fucking shipped out. I hope Rogers fucking sells the team. I hope fucking Schneider gets the fuck out of there. Blow up the fucking whole organization.
You forgot about Looney Dogs. They love their
Fuck
Looney
their loony
Dogs.
dogs.
That's where they make
Looney
their
Dog
money,
hot.
man.
Those nights are so fun though.
Can't wait to have 20 loony dogs while I watch them lose 20-0. Yay! We got my
Well,
loony
yeah,
dogs.
there you
A
go.
loony
You should
dog
have
for
a
every
dog
run
for each
against.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
actually it's only four per person. Okay,
Is it
so,
actually?
yeah,
Oh,
and then
they
you have to go to a
cheated.
different stand.
Bucks.
Oh
Then you have to
man,
go to a different
Dante,
stand.
what you
wow.
need to do You need to have a loony dog for every run the other team scores and a beer for every run the Jays score. He'll be sober with
I'm
20
just gonna
loony
be
dogs.
fucking. I'm gonna be so thirsty. We're not scoring a run. Who's gonna score the run? Was Dave
Well,
Schneider gonna hit a home
Vladdy
run?
Andrew
this year.
Kerr.
Yeah.
Oh,
Vladdy
this
Andrew
year,
this
Kerr.
sorry, this year we still got Vladdy. If we're
Yeah.
talking next year, what's our best fucking hope? Jimenez hits a fucking inside the park home run.
Santander.
Some like
Joey Votto comes out
13-year-old
of
kid from
retirement.
the Caribbean or something. I don't know.
Santander hits 1 out of 10 because he strikes out the other nine.
Oh, a PD boy or Elvis. I forgot about him, bro.
I'd rather
Forgot-
fucking Chris
Oh,
Colabello on this team.
that's another thing. Our top prospect got caught with PEDs, bro.
Yeah, I know.
That's insane.
Who, Chris? Who?
Or Elvis Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez.
Mm,
Like that's another thing to add on to the shit
Couldn't be
pile.
me.
Like
I'm so sick of this team. I'm so sick of them, honestly. Oh, don't worry. Alec Manoah is going to be back this year. Can't wait till he performs
okay, he was really good.
for 1 fucking year, and then he died.
they signed him for how much? They gave him a big contract. I
Was it like
remember.
8 years or something?
Oh, it's a big
Yeah.
ass contract.
7?
Yeah.
Fuck, we're
Probably
better
the
off with
second
fucking
biggest.
Robbie Ray.
That's probably the second biggest contract the Jays have ever signed.
Anyways, I'm done ranting. I could go on for days. So yeah. Anyways, that was pretty much all we had to talk about today. This went on for I think about an hour and a half. So we did
Wow.
go over what we wanted to
Double.
do. But I hope everyone enjoyed listening. This was honestly, it was probably one of our most eventful podcasts, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything happened.
A lot happened.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. But excuse me. Anyways, that was Unathletic Opinions. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Dylan, for joining us.
No problem.
We'll
Thanks
have
for
you,
having me.
yeah, we'll have you back sometime soon. But anyways, next time, stay tuned for a little bit of NHL catch up again, because we haven't talked about that in a while. And maybe we'll touch upon some NFL free agency. Or we'll talk about the draft coming up. All kinds of stuff is happening soon. So I'm sure we'll have a lot more content for you in a couple weeks. But anyways, thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you guys next time.